Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing very well. Welcome to this edition of discussion on the Hindu dated 28th of October 2022. And we bring to you some of the major articles from the newspaper. Let's begin with our today's discussion. From page number 1 and 12 from GS to Indian Polity, we have two articles that are related to the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. So first one is highlighted as Central Mulls removal of TRAI-related provisions from the bill and TRAI provisions likely to be removed from the bill, says another article. So these two talk about the dilution of powers of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India in the proposed telecom policy. So from this article, you have to know about the key features of the proposed telecom policy and the concerns over the possible dilution of power of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Alright, moving further on page number 1 from GS to Indian Polity, the article is headlined as States should have a uniform policy on law and order, says our Home Minister Amit Shah. Now he says that states should have a uniform law and order policy as certain crimes such as cross-border terrorism and cyber crimes transcend regional and international boundaries. So from this article, you have to know what is the significance of states having a uniform law and order policy and also know about the role and mandate of the National Investigation Agency, the Narcotics Control Bureau and the National Intelligence Grid, that is the NAT grid. Alright. Moving further on page number 2 from GS3 Environment Sector. Now the article is headlined as BJP claims poisonous chemical used to hide toxic foam in the Yamuna river. So first of all, from this article, you have to know about the issues related to the pollution of rivers in India, also the sources of pollution and the pollutants, and with this know about the Namami Gange program. Alright, moving further on page number 6 from GS1 Ancient History. Now the article says coinage with images of god and goddesses dates back to Kushans. So the Kushans, who hailed from the Central Asian region and ruled till 3rd century AD, were the first to use the image of goddesses Lakshmi on their coins. So from this article, you have to know about the significance of Kushana coins in Indian history. Moving further on page number 7 from GS3 Environment Sector, the article is headlined as Bengaluru firm's floating trash barrier wins PSA's Clean Water Body Challenge. Now, a floating trash barrier was developed by a Bengaluru firm and that was deployed in 8 cities across India to trap trash in water bodies. And this has won Cleaning and Restoring India's Water Bodies Challenge. And this particular was conducted by the PSA, that is the Principal Scientific Advisor. So from this article, you have to know about the floating trash barrier technique to trap the trash in water bodies and also know about the Waste to Wealth mission and the Swachh Bharat Unnat Bharat mission. Moving on page number 8 and 12 from GS2 Indian Polity, the articles are about role of governor. Now, first one is headlined as limits of pleasure and another one is governor has no role in parliamentary democracy. Now, these articles are related to the ongoing tussle between Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan and the Left Democratic Front government. So from these articles, you have to know about the role, functions, pleasure and powers of the governor and also is it justified to say that the governor's office is redundant now and is no longer needed in parliamentary democracy. Moving on page number 8 from GS3 Environment Sector, the article is headlined as Going Green. Now from this article, you have to know about government's conservation 7 climate change proposals and what is the need for enhanced climate change action. Moreover, what more can be done by the government and what is the possible scenario ahead. Moving on page number 8 itself from GS1 World History, the article is headlined as The Old but Relevant Script of Cuban Missile Crisis. This article is written by Mr. Rakesh Sood. He says, with the risk of escalation and miscalculations growing in the Ukraine war, it is time to revisit the sobering lessons of 1962. And here he is referring to the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. From this article, you have to know about the Cuban Missile Crisis and its relevance in the Russia-Ukraine war. Moreover, what is the significance of the Cuban crisis in world history and who all are the associated personalities? Further on, know about the Cold War and other related facts. Moving on page number 8 itself from GS2 Governance, another article that is headlined as The Dismal Case of Slashing Schemes and Cutting Funds. This article is written by Mr. Varun Gandhi and from this article you have to know about the major government-sponsored schemes of various sectors and issues associated with them. Moving on page number 10 from GS2 International Relations, the article highlights what is Turkey's latest disinformation law. Now recently Turkey's parliament adopted the much critiqued disinformation law that accords jail terms of up to 3 years to social media users and journalists for spreading disinformation. So, from this article, you have to know about the Turkey's recently passed media law and what are the criticisms around it. Moving on page number 12 from GS to International Relations, the article is headlined as In Call with British PM Sunak, Modi discusses Trade Pact. From this article, you have to know about India's bilateral relations with the United Kingdoms, the ongoing talks for the proposal of free trade agreement between India and Britain, and also what are its benefits for both the countries. Moving on page number 14 from GS3 Science and Technology, the article is headlined as Genetically Modified Mustard will be ready for cultivation in 3 crop seasons, says the Indian Agricultural Research Institute IARI director. Now from this article, you have to know about the approval of GM mustard, that is DMH 11, and also what are genetically modified crops. Further on, also know about the GM crops in India and what is the approval process. Well, with this, we call it a wrap of today's edition of Headlines of the Day, The Hindu. I hope you liked the video. I will see you with some other video. Till then, take care and do stay tuned.